9 precepts. Chanmyay Yogi Konaba the Bao Megum Bosana Kunapune Katava.
You like about me. Maybe come in.
Now it's a questions and answer period. All the questions you have posted last night, Sayadaw will answer. I will read it out in English and then in Burmese, and Sayadaw will answer. Through English or Yen Papia, Chanmyay or Malapian Sham. Through English or Yen Pap, Chanmyay or Malapian Sham.
The Konyan,
Mamba,
the Kuya.
Mamba. Okay. Sayadaw, sir, what scriptures or commentaries would be helpful to study to help to understand how to improve our practice? Would the Abhidhamma be good for this? Dara. Chanmyay be Pali be commentary de ora so the Leila no she. Akutu legend that Patipata Yao Pobi Nale be Chen and Pamela Abhidhamma Tinja Pamala Mekunte.
Abhidhamma Melo Mezima Nike Upari Panada Palido Mahadri Patanato Paline Eridago Punhare Atagata Jibar
Mesimanike
Mezimanike Upari Panada Palido Upari Panada Palido Mahadri Patanato Mahadri Patanato Ne Erito Ye Point Atagatago Jay Jiva.
Okay. The first answer to Dara question. So what we need to read. Okay, so first of all, you don't need Abhidhamma. Okay? But if you want to improve and understand better, it's called Majjhima Nikaya Uparipana Pali
Nikaya Yomanale.
Nikaya.
Pali time Yomanale.
Upari Panata Nikaya.
Oh, Mizima Nikaya. Mizima Nikaya.
I'm just saying in Burmese, so Sayadaw's correcting in Pali. Mizima Nikaya. Okay. Upari Panata Pali scripture and Mahasatipatthana Sutta. And also all the commentaries with regard to that Mahasatipatthana Sutta. That's what he recommends you to read.
Without the Atagata Asaso Lila Ulu.
And also a part of purification without the Meg,
without the
Mega, and Atagata. So you need to read that thoroughly from back to front to back. So that may go number tip here. Number Dara's second question is, I have never really understood what it means to look at the pain. May I understand better hearing from you. Look at the pain, look at the pain. Vedana shoot. I Vedana shoots for that. To Tidija Namale, that Chanmyay to Nale Chanmyay.
while you are meditating, if you feel any unpleasant sensation in your body, such as a pain, stiffening, numbness and so on, they are Vedana, dukkha Vedana, unpleasant sensation. For example, when you feel pain in your leg, that pain is Vedana. Vedana is of three kinds: pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, neutral feeling. That pain is an unpleasant feeling or unpleasant sensation. That must be observed. That must be noted. Pain, pain, labeling it as pain, pain, observing the unpleasant sensation. That at that moment, pain, pain, pain. You are mindful of the pain. You are aware of the pain. That is contemplation of the pain. Vedana. Madhura.
Dara, Cambodian yogi.
Very easy.
Easy. Dara. Now the second yogi said, Sayadaw ji, Venerable Sir, if there was a great catastrophe that destroyed the living system that support humans on this planet, such as nuclear war or global temperature increases, what would become of the Buddha Dharma? With Metta, Jim, Barong solution, Uma, the Kababama, the Kabaloka, Imarkana, a Chija, Dokai, Pola, Ubama, the Karen, a new music, Domo, the Karen, then a Buddha, the Yanda Lapidon, Kabai, a chain, a seed water, a low chain, my solution, the Buddha, the Bapia, Wamarone.
Kabaji Piasi, Tuavi, Kabaji Mashiro.
If there is no world, if the world is destroyed by catastrophe, the Buddha Dharma also is gone.
There's nobody to appreciate it.
Dudiya Megompya. Second questions. Sayadaw ji, Venerable Sir, is it possible for a layperson living in this modern civilization, in the working world, to achieve some degree of enlightenment with Metta Jim? Through the Shotwe Myam Kaisa Myara, the Kabahi Man Nini, Yo to Ludata Ua solution, enlightenment, and then some degree body, enlightenment, and then love Yabu Pianai Bahala.
No, with Metta Bani.
Mamba, so you are Metta Pian,
Metta is a meditation, samatha meditation. Metta Bhavana is no vipassana meditation. Only vipassana meditation enables a meditator to attain enlightenment. But samatha meditation cannot.
Oh, Piati Metta Surata, Alma, Lematura, Kama, Yudu, Zoapian, Elo, Elo, the Bob unit Hera.
Yes, it's possible. Pinayamare. Who live the Vipadana Atolu, the Yari Yanida, Vipadana Nyani Pinida. Now, any entertainment, mania punya yana, ရှိတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေအများကြီးပါပဲလူရင်းကအချိန်ရဖို့နဲ့လုံလောက်ဝိရိယလုံလောက်ဖို့ပဲလိုတယ်လို့အထောက်ဖို့ရ
Yeah, there's busy working workers, you can attain some enlightenment. Not only that, there are some people who are lay people who are busy in this world, working in this world, and they have already touched or attained the path and the fruition. All that you need is sometimes you have to allot some time and give that time to the practice as well as great effort. If you have that too, you can achieve it even as a lay person. Many people had done so. So, this is the third question from Nariya. Sayadaw ji, please advise how to acquire skill to spread Dharma in school. Please give an example of consequences of Khanika Samadhi. မေကွန်းတစ်ခုပဲပထမမေကွန်းကဗျတရားနာရီယန်ဒီအရှိမထိုင်နေတဲ့အဖိုးကြီးဗျသူကကျောင်းမှာတဲ့ကလေးတွေကိုဒီဗုဒ္ဓတရားကိုသူကဖြတ်ညင်လို့ရှိရင်ဘလို့များဖြတ်လို့ရှိရင်အကောင်းဆုံးနည်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်လေတဲ့ဗျဘလို့များလုပ်ရမလဲပေါ့ကျောင်း
ဆိုတာဘုန်းကြီးကျောင်း
ကလေးရိုးရိုးကျောင်း
စာသင်ကျောင်း
နေဗျ
စာသင်ကျောင်းမှာကလေးတွေကို
ဒီတရားနဲ့တရားတဲ့ဝင်လာအောင်အာယုံဝင်လာအောင်ဘလို့နည်းမျိုးနဲ့လုပ်လို့ရှိရင်ကြွညက်ဖြစ်လို့လုပ်ရင်ကောင်းပါမလဲ
ပထမဆုံးကတော့ကလေးတွေကိုသရဏဂုံသုံးပါးနားလဲအောင်ပြောပေးရမယ်ပြောပေးပြီးအဲ့သရဏဂုံသုံးပါးကိုနေ့တိုင်းအချိန်လေးတစ်ချိန်ထားပြီးတော့သူတို့ရွတ်စေရသရဏဂုံသုံးပါးဆိုတာဗုဒ္ဓံသရဏဂစ္ဆာမိဓမ္မံသရဏဂစ္ဆာမိသံဃံသရဏဂစ္ဆာမိအဲ့ဒါကိုပါဠိလိုရောသူတို့နားလည်တဲ့ဘာသာနဲ့ရောဗုဒ္ဓံသရဏဂစ္ဆာမိရဲ့အဓိပ္ပာယ်ဓမ္မံသရဏဂစ္ဆာမိရဲ့အဓိပ္ပာယ်သံဃံသရဏဂစ္ဆာမိရဲ့အဓိပ္ပာယ်ကိုရှင်းပြပြီးတော့ဗုဒ္ဓံသရဏဂစ္ဆာမိရဲ့အဓိပ္ပာယ်ရှင်းပြပြီးတဲ့အခါမြတ်စွာဘုရားရဲ့ဖြစ်တော်စဉ်အချင်းချုပ်ပြောပြနောက်ဓမ္မံသရဏဂစ္ဆာမိရဲ့အဓိပ္ပာယ်ရှင်းပြပြီး၅ပါးသီလအဲ့ဒါဓမ္မအနေနဲ့ရှင်းပြသံဃံသရဏဂစ္ဆာမိရဲ့အဓိပ္ပာယ်ရှင်းပြတဲ့အခါမှာလက်ရှိတွေ့နေတဲ့သံဃာတော်တွေရဲ့အကျင့်သီလအကျင့်သမာဓိအကျင့်ပညာအကျင့်ဆိုတာကိုကလေးနားလည်အောင်ရှင်းပြပြီးတော့အဲ့ဒီသရဏဂုံသုံးပါးကိုနေ့စဉ်တစ်ချိန်ထားပြီးသူတို့၃ချိန်အယုခိုင်မှာဒါအစပေါ်လေ
So your short question, long answer, because you asked the whole procedure. So first and foremost, you have to talk to these children, okay, on their level. What is the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha? You have to explain them. What does it mean? Because without understanding them, that is nothing much. And once you have explained it on their level, the meaning of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, then you have to teach them in Pali words, the same thing. Buddham charanam gicchami, Dhammam charanam gicchami, Sangham saranam gicchami. Okay, face by face, not all in one stroke. Okay, good. And then make them learn how to recite it. Okay. And then when you are saying this Buddham charanam gicchami, at that time, you just recite it, and then you told the children the story of the Buddha, okay, so that the children can grab their attention. So explain. So every time you could little this story, that story, this story. That is one. And then when you are saying Dhammam charanam gicchami, at that time simply explain about the 5 precepts on the level with the little story. So, the 5%, that is Dharma, that is good enough for them. And then Sangam Saranam Gicchami, what the bhikkhus are, and at that time, how these monks have to practice, okay, how they have to live, okay, their morality, okay, and also their concentration. In other words, how hard they try to conform with the Buddha on the children level. And in that way, slowly and slowly, they will understand. They will understand that. And as you say, it is in school. If it is possible, give one period for that. Okay, let's say whatever school you are running, it's one period you have to run that, and there's a special period just for this. One period. And at that time, you go through this procedure, but also make them learn how to recite that as well, knowing the true meaning behind it. That's a start.
အဲဒီလိုတရားအကြောင်းဓမ္မန္တရဏံဝိသမိပြောတဲ့အခါမှာဘုရားဟောထားတဲ့ဓမ္မပဒပါဠိတော်နဲ့သူရဲ့အပွင့်အထကထာအဲ့ဒါကိုအင်္ဂလိပ်ဘာသာပြန်ထားတာရှိပါတယ်အဲ့ဒါက story တွေပဲဝတ္ထုကြောင့်ကလေးတွေစိတ်ဝင်စားတယ်အဲဝတ္ထုကြောင့်နဲ့မှာဓမ္မတရားကိုမြတ်စွာဘုရားကထုတ်ပြီးဒီနေရာမှာဒီတရားနဲ့လျော်တယ်ဆိုပြီးမြတ်စွာဘုရားထုတ်ပြထားတယ်အဲ့ဒီ story လည်းပြောပြအဲ့ဒီထုတ်တဲ့ ethic ကိုလည်းပဲရှင်းပြ story ပြောပြတော့စိတ်ဝင်စားတာပေါ့ဝတ္ထုကြောင့်ဆိုတာ
And also as a guide, this book is quite famous in the West, Dhammapada. All these little notes of the Buddha's life. But these notes always come from a story. So you go from the note and then you trace the story, and these stories are very interesting. It will grab the attention of the children. So tell them in a storyline, but always use that little line, the story, and then put that line into their mind as well. And that way it will go on. In other words, it's a whole thing that you can do it for years. It's just in short one here. And then it's Dhammapala, in that there's a storyline as well as the ethics are involved in there.
Oh, Nyama Bimaro Klede Jombichi Nuya Lima Ora Bada Yin Jimu Tinasu Biro Klede Tichan Bere Lady Thank you, Miare Dalla, the Shulet Nella Elizin Bere Jombichi.
In Myanmar, like the children have the summer vacation. It's a 2 months vacation. But during that period, Sayadaw at the monastery, they have a class study for the children, and they teach throughout these children. And these children, if you observe them, how they grow up and how they keep on growing up and how they behave, you can see the benefit right under your eye. Now, Megon the Kuapya, the Kanika the Maria effect, probably. A job. A Jew affects a Jew. Kanika the Maria, a Jew, or a Umalina, the Kushimya,
Kanika the Maria.
Consequences.
Kanika the Maria, Nalelula.
Do you understand Kanika Samadhi?
Yes.
What's it then?
It is the concentration is so powerful that you are able to focus on each thought that rapidly goes on, and you see that thought very clearly. The thought or the object very thoroughly and penetratingly. You understand what the meaning is.
what to Ayogo, the cool, sure, a kama, the charge, a sa so shoe nine, the galushine, Mimia Yashuna Luchin, Eddie Chema Suzila, the state that will Kanika Amadi. The Ayon shoe that kama, yeah. I should like that kama, Eddie Ayon, lowa inale, like the water out of Sura Shigani, be water chinky, Eddie Shama, Tidi Jai, Ayon Matope, Nina Galushin, Edma, the Mardi Lipola. The Mardi Liu, Kanika Amadi, Nale.
No. Kanika the Mardi Sura. I only cannot boy my shoe like Ari. I must say, Tira, Kanika the Mardi for that. My Pauna borrow, Pauna should I did. Pauna she gave my say I bought it. Era Kanan had it. Kanika the Mardi. No, Paina Bora, then no Paina should like it. Paina Yoga, then no Canave to I bought it like that. Arigan, they say, I learned the learners say was. Lunes, you like the Lunes, Saboma, Canati, Labia, and but I am a Canava TV, Dog Value. I must say, Tira and Canava Tina. Loyana, Ubadana, I told the Poguma, Shurain, ha, Bagu, Veshu, Kanika the Mari Pianera.
So, Sarah explain what Kanika Samadhi along with the example. Example is whatever you are doing. You are observing the rising movement. And when you are observing the rising movement, your focus is right on it. And then this focus also arises and disappears along with the object, rising movement. And then, so the same is with the falling movement. Your mind is totally, firmly established in that falling movement, and it disappears with it. And then suddenly a thought comes in, and not the contents. You just simply, firmly know there was a thought. At that moment, there's a little bit of a establishment of the concentration, but it has to be continuously, but they go moment by moment by moment. That is called momentary concentration.
Yeah. Kanika the Mari, consequence, right? You,
Mama.
We bought the Nanyambo. Kanika the Mari, Sesame Gavi, Solution, Akon. Akon, we bought the Nanyam Chibido. The one and the word
So he just explained what Kanika Samadhi means. Okay, now you ask the consequences. What are the results? The result is insight. So when you establish this momentary concentration continuously and successively, you penetrate into the nature of mind and matter. That penetration is insight. So the consequences or the result is insight. Now yogi the kupya. Now yogi at Dinka Pignon. This ones come from the Dinka, and the first question is, I know that contemplation and reflections are not part of Satipatthana Vipassana practice in formal retreat. Question. Is it so that they are not encouraged outside the retreats as well? How do you see the role of contemplation in the practice? That's the question. The Samatha Vipassana ကျင့်နေတဲ့အချိန်မှာပေါ့လေဒီရိတ် the retreat တရားစခန်းမှာကျင့်နေတဲ့အချိန်မှာဒီ contemplation and reflection ဆိုတာမလုပ်ရဘူးဆိုတာသူနားလည်ပါပြီတဲ့တွေးတော့ပြီးတော့ဒါယုတ်ဒါနာအဲ့လိုမျိုးတွေလောက်တာသင်နားလည်ပါပြီတဲ့ဒါပေမဲ့မေကုံးကအဲ့ဒီ ဒီတရားစခန်းမှာထိုင်မနေပဲအပြင်မှာနေတဲ့အခါမှာအဲ့ဒါလို reflection တို့ contemplation တို့လုပ်ဖို့ပါကိုရှင်ဖျား encourage လုပ်ပါသလားတဲ့မလုပ်ဘူးလားအဲ့ဒါတခုအဲ့ဒါဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဘယ်လိုမြင်ပါတယ်တဲ့ဒီ role of contemplation in the practice
contemplation and reflection
okay
reflection ကိုသူဘယ်လိုနားလဲလဲအဲ့ဒီစကားလုံးနှလုံး
what do you understand and how do you understand the meaning of contemplation and reflection
contemplation I understand is deep thinking with attention and observation but with a thought involved and reflection I see as a similar thing but with more thinking
contemplation ကိုတို့နားတယ်လို့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တခုခုကိုပေချာချာကြီးကိုရှုမှတ်နေတယ်အဲ့ဒီရှုမှတ်နေတဲ့အခါမှာဘာလို့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အတိတ်ပဲကိုအဲ့မှာနည်းနည်းတွေးပြီးဖော်ယူတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့နည်းနည်းတွေးပြီးဖော်တယ်ရှုတာလည်းရှိတယ်အဲ့လိုလည်းတွဲတာလည်းရှိတယ်အဲ့ဒါ contemplation reflection ကြတော့ပို့ပြီးအတွေးတွေပိုများတယ်အဲ့ဒါလိုနားလဲပါတယ်
and vipassana meditation meditator use the bare attention to the object. The bare attention means that you just be mindful of the object as it is, without thinking, without reflection, without analyzing, without criticizing, without intellectualizing. Just be aware of it, just be mindful of it as it is. Because the meditator should rightly understand the reality of the object as it occurs. That's why he must not use any analytical knowledge, any reflection, any thinking, any intellectualizing. Just be aware of it. Just be mindful of the object as it really occurs. That is when you practice Satipatthana Vipassana meditation. But out of meditation, in daily life at your home, you must use this contemplation and reflection as much as possible. That is a daily life. This is a meditation life. Very different.
So I don't need to translate. I'm easy, getting up easy. Okay. Dutiya Megoma Phya. Second question. Okay. Is it possible to make any progress in Vipassana practice without going to long-term retreats? How long retreats would you recommend and how often for progress to be made? Yeah. ပါမေရောဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီဝိပဿနာရဲ့ဉာဏ်ကိုရဖို့ဟာဒါလိုအရှိန်ရှည်တရားစိတ်တာမှာသွားမထိုင်မင်းနဲ့ဖြစ်နိုင်ပါသလားတဲ့အဲ့ဒါတခုအဲ့လိုဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အကယ်၍သွားရမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဘလောက်ကြာရှည်အောင်သွားရမယ်ဘယ်နှခါလောက်သွားရမယ်ဆိုတာသွားတယ်ဆိုတာဒီတခါတည်းကို insight ရဖို့ပေါ့လေတားဖို့လို့ပြအရှင်ဘုရားညွှန်ကြားပေးနိုင်ပါသလား Is it possible to make any progress in Vipassana practice without going to long-term retreats? How long retreats would you recommend and how often for progress to be made?
Yes. you need to practice meditation for longer period of time so that you have enough time. Then you must put forth enough effort so that you can have continuous and constant mindfulness for the whole day and night. That continuous and constant mindfulness is the cause of a deep concentration. Then concentration becomes deep. You are able to realize or rightly understand impermanent suffering and impersonal nature of body-mind process or nama and rupa. To realize that, you need to practice, say about 2 months, 3 months, as a remarkable benefit of meditation. But it depends on your parami. Your parami means that you are experiencing meditation and past existence, past life. In the past life, you have a lot of experience in meditation, vipassana meditation. Then those meditations are conducive to attainment of insight, knowledge, and path enlightenment in this life. If you do not have any meditative experience in your past life, you will have to practice, say, for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 10 years. 10 years and or more. In Sri Lanka, in ancient time, a Mahathera, a senior monk, who is about 60 years old, practiced meditation, vipassana meditation. He practiced 90 years intensively, incessantly, continuously, but he can't make progress. He can't attain any insight or enlightenment because he did not have any meditative experience in his past existences. So, to make progress in meditation depends on correct method and strenuous effort and parami, that means past experiences and past existences.
Dutiya, Dutiya may go. The next question is Sayadaw ji sir, what is the average length of time for a meditator already with a little experience to reach the first stage of enlightenment in one of your retreat centers? Why? To shout that Chanmyay Sayadaw Nene Chegan Shibi Sani be Jinere Yogi de Leani Biro Toda Ban Pietwara, Patamadin, Toda Ban Pietwara, average length of time, Balala Pia Shiba own
Yogi Toda Badi Menya Punya Yale Mea Usura Myasa Pia Mandaba Beluga Sobialu Meabu Payam Lesra The yogi ma tu atolo Atwega Mandala Madala Divu. A yogi ga they are shouted Hama Leve to shouted like Mayela, Mamia Nidala. Tegelu a Mashone Kamatan Siaga, Eddie shouted a Ma Boma Jibi, so be like Benya Yabi, Beme Yabi, so be a Madware. Loyangaro, Yogi Adwegu, Pebuga, so be a loot, Tilicha the Mayau. Daya, I told the Yogi, they are Be Yogi Pien, Bemenya Yadware, Bebunya Yadware, Elocomatansiaga, Madibu.
Apart from the Buddha, apart from the Buddha, nobody exactly, precisely know who has attained what level. Okay. Only the Buddha, with the exception, you know exactly who has attained what. However, in the retreats, yogis always report to Sayadaw, to the meditation teacher. They're reporting and reporting and reporting. So these reports, okay, they might be reporting sincerely. They might be reporting correctly. They might be reporting wrongly. They might be reporting falsely. They think they have experience that they might be reporting they haven't experienced. So the meditation instructor or the teacher has to depend, assuming that this report is sincere and correct. And based on that, he can assess it. Okay, this could be this or this could be that. Could be, but not definite, because the teacher doesn't exactly know precisely what is in the mind of the yogi. So because of that, nobody can really say this person is this area level, that area level, or this person has this insight or that insight, except the Buddha.
Or the yogi Pien, where we put the Nanya Lao, Yellow, Yellow, Lao, Pilu, do hard to come on my yo mercy. So young a baby, Tajam Pazuma, Pegamatansia Male Yogi, and the Yago, so young a baby.
However, when the yogis are reporting their insight or their experiences, a skillful teacher can really gauge how sincere they are, how true they are, how correct they are. And that teacher can estimate or guesstimate whether this student have attained this insight or that insight, or maybe he have reached this stage or that stage. He can estimate or guesstimate, but no teacher can tell exactly you are this, or you are that, or you are it.
Taja Mahasi Sayadaw Bhyayi Be Yogi Ye Deyama Benya Yao Bilu Songbya Bimabu Pongiru Le Elube Be Yogi Goma Di Yogi Pien Benya Yao Bilu Bedo Kama Songbya Mabu.
That's why Mahasi Sayadaw, that is the our head of a lineage there, he never decide and say this yogi has attained this or attained that or reached this or reached that. So also Chanmyay Sayadaw never say this yogi have attained this or attained that or this stage or that stage or that insight.
Taja Mahasi Sayadaw Nala Lao Atolu Daya Doro Kaune Bilu Tene Bogu Miagu Nyazin Daya Sura Anakaine Anakaina tu Benya Yobilu, Pura Mobu. Yandan Diarema, Yogia, Benya Mabelu Twide, Benya Mabelu Twitter de, Benya Mabelu Twitter de, Yogi Twitter Pomunia, Ascendant, Hopia, Hopia, Yogia era Natham, Natham Bido, Go Mapshidane, Tayarea. Niane Dyson Giara. Oh, my Pidane, Diarega Pite, Pibo, Mangara, and guided way or Nadinyam, no Pibi, Guru, Yogi, Duadu, Soviet Nine, Siaga, Soviet Babu, and Yane, Sinze, Duebo Rive, Piopiare.
So that's why at Mahasi Sayadaw, okay, when you see his yogi who is really working hard for about 2-3 months, and then he has progressed quite a bit, at that time he will take that yogi and put him down to listen to the stages of insight. Once the yogi listens to the stage of insight, the yogi knows. He knows himself, what he has experienced and what the scripture has said. What he has experienced and what the scripture has said. And he can gauge himself. He can gauge himself where he is at. No teacher will come and tell you, you have reached this or you have attained this. 2-3 months of practice, and then if you have progressions in there, the teacher will put you to these 13 stages of insight from the scripture, and you gauge yourself, comparing your experience with the scripture. And second question from Huai. Sayadaw, how is metta conveyed when I send it? And how is metta received by other party? Why? Patama, how is metta conveyed when I send it? And Dudya, how is metta received by the other party?
How is metta
received?
Retreat.
Received.
Received.
Is metta received by the other party. Hobaka, tu polai da lu de ro blu ya ba da le.
Yes, in Buddhist world, there are many people who think metta can be sent to any other person.
Okay. In this Buddhist world, there are a lot of people think that we can send, we can mail it, we can send it, metta, to other party.
Metta is not material thing. It cannot be sent to any other person.
I cannot translate that. I don't know what it is. Metta
I
forgetting between English and Burmese. Metta is not a material thing. It cannot be sent to other party.
But when you develop loving kindness, metta in you, if you have a lot of metta in you, that metta naturally goes to the other person, need not to send.
So, got it.
Metta sura poyara mohu. Mimi dana pipwa on lejinya atogara. Era jam tu metta bhavana lu bhavana sura mimi dana ma pipwa on lejinya atoda bhavana lu khora. Metta bhavana sura mimi dana ma metta sai ingong agong ne pipwa ne yo lejinya la. I don't maybe the number Meda say Agong Nakama Mimi Nessa ne Boguri Mimi a Meda da Shane Habido through Le Chanare Any Meda Agong ne Bogo solution to ye any Bogo Mena Chilene Nye Ere Chedri Chile any Bogo ne Tuyare Bogo Manamia Any Boguri leve, say Canada, do Miananiarane, Era Payones, do Matana Masire, Medaga, Sansane Bogurezi, a Shay Yaupalu.
So, this metta is, as you all know, is not something that you can send. What it is you have to develop within you. You have to develop within you. In other words, your psyche becomes loving kindness. You have to develop again and again. That's what bhavana means. Developing culture, develop inside you. And it becomes you and metta become synonymous. Okay? And at that moment, that person, if you look at that person faces always peaceful, always happy, not just laughing, just look like it's always smiling, peaceful, happy, and it is very lovable. Okay. When you have that inside you, it becomes it. When people look at it, that is the feeling they get. And that is what? That energy of loving kindness developed inside that person is radiating out and touching everybody who is coming in contact with. So that is. And if you develop that, that will happen. You don't have to send it. They will feel it, they will receive it. And when they received it, first and foremost is just by looking at their face, they feel happy. And also they benefit because no danger, no harm comes around when the metta is. That's what metta is and how it is received, and it cannot be said. It radiates and touches people.
Suja Valu Ongi away at Ilare a Bimankamiro Lamale Jimian Sibi Jai Bimankamilare Labido Yogi Ru Deapia Bide a Bimankamila Deapia Bida who taught ye Ponia Yogi Rupuma Mita Shidala Machibula below Sombia Malay.
As an example, Sayadaw asked you a question. He came all the way from halfway around the world at his age. And there's a lot of difficulty and waiting times and the whole 9 years going through. And then he got here. He got here and he teaches you this practice, okay, with the best of his time and ability and as much as you can receive it. So the question is, what do you think? Does he have metta for you or not? Dinka.
Dinka is thinking.
Do you understand that question?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am thinking because the answer is obvious.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it a little time.
Wow. A Pierre Shin Yibe. I'm a Pierre Shin Yibe to the Chajago, two did the Nala down them. Easy.
The other thing is not look blue.
hello, you shall not know what you are doing.
No. If I yogi mo yeah, Ponya di Bimanhabila.
So if he doesn't like you, any of you, would he come here? That's so obvious, that kind of thing.
Yes, I can say I see the metta. I see the metta.
Yeah.
So, but when I think, oh, I don't know.
We are current, the current Nelo church, about a young way.
This is another thing to be profoundly reflected, because it is very easy. If I love you, I can do for you a benefit. If I hate you, I don't do for you. Now I came from very far away in here and take suffering to teach you meditation.
Yes.
Why can do it?
But that's
Why can I do it?
I don't know. I have to think.
Metta means the mental state wishing the welfare of all living beings. That's the meaning of metta. Metta is a mental state wishing welfare of all beings in the world. Because I have the wish to do welfare of the yogis. That's why I came here. That is metta. Metta means no, love itself. That is why Pali scholars say loving kindness. Loving kindness is the mental state wishing the welfare of all living beings. And another word, metta wishes all living beings peace and happiness all the time. That's a metta. Metta Vidyanana get her.
Okay. The next question. The next question is, Sayadaw, Venerable Sir, how to keep mindfulness attitude when my work is often dealing with violence, unexpected behavior? Pierre, Mira. Meron solution to a local chat, the Luma solution, and the same account, same and Luri, a low Luri, not to a lower, or the Hadijation, the Luria, tiny bone at Hayachin like that, a lumuri. Other lumuri in a Miesas and the order to the tea below tower, below attitude, below the dinner, the roti to the lower.
The mindfulness ka taya sakha ma be ko a pi owa tha nain ne daily life ja ro tha lo maya bu le da pe me lo ya da lo tha ya da lo ni tha de so ja ba le ai ma ne de ai nga a lo lo de ai nga a lo lo de so lo shi yin lo xia pyu mu mu de shi de ai ma lo da de ko general awareness Yevonya the word thief, Saika Sumone, other solution are mindfulness. Tabi me era lema piamalone only, but Pajamanes are daily life go, daily life are a logo Zabiana. Any a time, any duty necessary, Kalebe, Pina, daily awareness, general awareness lower.
Okay, so this mindfulness is something you keep here. Don't miss even 1 second. You can't miss even 1 second here. But when you go back to the daily life, okay, the condition and situation of the daily life surround and control you. And you cannot keep the mindfulness like this in the daily life. And mostly you have to use a common sense, and you cannot be very mindful, but you can have general mindfulness, general awareness. Even the general awareness at a certain situation, you can't keep it. Okay, you have to deal with the situation there rather than that. But try your best to keep general awareness if you can. If not, don't worry about it. But full mindfulness is only what you try to keep at the retreat. And that's why they said, do this way, do this way, do this way. Because this is the only condition you can develop this. Outside this, you cannot develop this condition. Okay? Yeah. The second question is 35 minutes daily meditation. Okay? Is that enough or more? Mindful daily attitudes. So, Dudiya Megong Apia, the new 1,000 minutes of time, Lolo Padala, did a put higher home.
Long love dress or the guy a day bear to appear one level. Long love dress raga, no day at the chain of mindful pity, my long love. And 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and Benelux.
Okay, so is the 35 minutes enough? So what he say is what is enough is from the moment you wake up till you fall asleep, if you are mindful, then that is sufficient. That is the only sufficient time. But other than that, it's not. But you have to do what you can do.
Something is better than nothing.
Now I'm doing the right translation. This is beer. Okay. The next question. The next question said, Sayadaw, would I be able to find an explanation of seeing lights, feeling vibration, etc. during sitting meditation in any of your books? If so, which one? If time permits, can you please comment on it? Su. Da Gama Suwa Shauda. Do the African Kamadi, a lay on the Miene, La Kare Kuri, don't load there, Eradi Pipin. Eradi Pidu, Nale Amlo, Payabu, Shempia, Pusu Tada, South Mia Shiba, the La, Rataku. Okay, Shiloshin, Besal Bale, again, Mashibu Solution, Shempia, a Chinese to Nane Nale Amlo, and at your favor, Shempi.
In a lay lu are she memetemu. Nyama ruara elusa Shida. Yamaza Pata.
He said he doesn't have anything written in English, but he has books written in Burmese. Can you read Burmese?
Next lifetime.
Now was no
Then, next slide, you'll have to be reborn in Myanmar. Yes, vibration is Vayodhatu, wind element. Wind element, Vayodhatu has movement, motion, vibration, supporting as its characteristic. ပြောလိုက်ပါဦးမယ်
Okay. Shipya English. Translate. Like that. He thinks that he's talking about me. He's like telling me to translate.
You can translate the Sayadaw in Burmese. Quite strong.
So you understand. Yeah. Second question is Sayadaw. At what age is it appropriate for a child to start on this practice? And how does a parent explain to in simple enough terms? Sue. So, Kaling eri be yuelaka sabi di tadi patan dayao sabi do jinjang lu shen kaung ba ma le de. Now di kaleri mi ba ane na di kaleri na le ang yo yo le de balu mya pyo wa soma ba ma le de na le ang.
10 နှစ်12နှစ်လောက်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ပြောလို့အတော်တန်နားလဲပါတယ်အကုန်တော့မဟုတ်ဘူးပေါ့ဟိုတရားအထုတ်နိုင်တော့အောင်တော့10နှစ်12နှစ်လောက်ဆိုရင်တော့ဒါစနားလဲပြီ
Age about 10 to 12, 12, then they know enough to practice. So in other words, that's a good time to start on your path.
Yeah. ဒါကြောင့်မြန်မာပြည်မှာတော့10နှစ်12နှစ်ကလေးတွေအဲ့ဒါတရားထိုင်တာသင်ပေးတယ်သင်ပေးတော့ရတယ်ဈဉ္ညာလျှောက်တာလည်းသင်ပေးတယ်ဘယ်လမ်းနဲ့ညာလမ်းနဲ့ဘယ်လမ်းရင်ဘယ်ခြေတော့လှုပ်ရှားတာကြည့်ညာလမ်းရင်ညာခြေတော့လှုပ်ရှားတာကြည့်အဲ့လိုဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကလေးတွေဈဉ္ညာလည်းတချို့နိုင်တော့5မိနစ်10မိနစ်ဆိုတော့လျှောက်ကြတယ်
So in Burma, Sayadaw have a program for the age around, starting around 10 or 12. They put on this meditation practice. So they can understand and they give very simple instruction how to work and how to sit. Just for 5-10 minutes. You don't go for 1 hour. 5-10 minutes. And that's the program. So, ဒါပါပဲပြမေကွန်း
ဟုတ်ပြီလား
မှန်ပါ